right or wrong. It also puts buffer zones around our schools, our waterways, our communities. Sounds like common sense to me. It also asks for an environmental impact statement so it can test for the poisons they've been using to see how it's hurt our land so far. So that's the facts about the bill, just so you guys know exactly, in black and white what the bill's all about. So our first speaker is one of my heroes and a big part of this movement, Uncle Walter Reddy. Let's give him a hand of applause.
All the way from the island of Molokai, I want to say mahalo to Kauai. Kauai! Kauai, you are the leaders in this movement on GMOs. Kauai! You're not only influencing the rest of the islands. Whatever you guys did today, what you're doing right now is going to have an impact not only in Hawaii, not only in the United States, but throughout the whole world, what you guys are doing today. You got out of your houses on a Sunday, got into your cars. I'm joining you, sweating here on the stage. We're all sweating walking up the streets. All of that is worth it. That's what it takes to influence your government. And you, the island of Kauai, is showing everybody how to influence your government. You are going to win. There is no stopping Kauai. Today is a defining moment. You're standing in a time and place, in a defining moment where we, the people of this state, are going to influence our government and take it away from the corporations that are doing nothing but profit on our backs and on our health. The last time we marched in the rain. Today we're marching in the sun. That means the battle, even though it's a high point today, it's not going to be over until you convince your politicians that they should be serving you. They should be serving you. Not the corporations, not the money, not the profits. They should be serving the people of Kauai. And that's why you're here today. So today is a great day for everybody. But please, this is not going to be the end of the battle. You guys are going to have to participate in making sure that these politicians, if they don't follow your lead, you guys are going to have to get them out of office. Get them out of office. Don't let them represent you. Learn how to be a politician also. All you got to do is vote. That's all you got to do, and corporations will disappear once you start doing that. So I'm all the way from Molokai. I came to support, and I came to say congratulations to Kauai. You guys are the leaders. You guys are way out there. Don't let the politicians out of this one. Learn every single name, what district, everything, and make sure they follow what you want and not what the corporations want. You are the consumers. You are the people that buy things. This is not about farmers. This is about you, the consumers. What they grow, you eat. And if they grow the wrong thing, you ain't going to buy it and you ain't going to eat it. So you the leaders. I will have for Molokai. Come get them, Kauai. You've never been conquered. Kauai, yeah, Kauai.
Oh, Uncle Walter. He always gives a good speech. Next brother is Brother Hano Hano. He's one of Uncle Walter's right-hand men. They've been fighting for the future for a long time, the future of Hawaii, in a positive way. They came all the way from Molokai. They're in the same battle over there. Come to give some of their insight on how they're dealing with their problems and how they like join us to deal with ours, because we all won here in Hawaii. So give a hand, warm welcome to Hano Hano.
Kauai. Molokai loves you guys. It is so impressive to stand before you guys and feel all this mana, because aloha aina, no matter what way you say them, no matter if you yell them or you whisper them, aloha aina means to love the land. Right? Aloha aina means to love the place that's taking care of you. They don't do this. But obviously, every single one of you guys here know what aloha aina means. And that makes my heart happy. That makes my heart happy. From Hilo to Hanale and everything in between, we all in this together. We're all in this together. Like what Fern said, we united. This is exactly what they didn't want to happen, right? But we need, especially the youth, we gotta learn how to hold hands. We gotta learn how to talk story with each other. Okay? They always said the generation before us, a lot of great ideas, a lot of great people, but they don't come together. This is an opportunity to make friends that will last forever. When you look around at each other, know that we're all here for pono. We're all here for pono. And I'd like to thank all the kupuna, all the families that from Kauai. Yeah, we was taught we never go somebody else's island and go tell them what to do. I don't know why they never tell all these big companies the same thing. If you like poison your own place. Yeah? If you like experiment on your own family. And if you think GMOs is safe, drink the poison. If anybody ever come up to you guys and tell you guys, oh, why is GMO so bad? Tell them, man, drink this. Right? And tell them that's what you're doing to every single one of our families. Without us even knowing. So please, take your stuff, wrap it up, and get the out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Before I get off the mic, a lot of times we can talk to Molokai, and Molokai don't like listen to Molokai. So I'm gonna put on my cell phone and I'm gonna put on my record. Could you guys please tell Molokai no GMOs? Okay, we're gonna check out. Ole GMOs. 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 Gary, who's up? Gary, who's up? I saw Gary Hooser someplace. Hey, I'd like to invite all of you guys, when we go against Monsanto and Mycogen on Molokai, all of you guys welcome to come over. We get pleased for everybody for staying. But Kauai, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and my family's heart and my island. Thank you for being the leaders, because we're all watching you guys. And we love what we see, so thank you so much. Aloha.
Check. Hello? Yeah. Okay, not to throw a wrench in it, but somebody lost their phone. One yellow case. Maria, you lost your phone. We found it. We got a couple of brothers from the west side, some local boys who are in the heart. So I'd like to give them a few moments to speak their heart, speak their mind. Let you guys know what's going on in the heart of the poison. Go, brother.
Hello everybody, my name is Jensen. I live in Miami Valley, and I've been living on the west side since 1998. My family is a Newfoundland, and if anybody did any kind of research, I already know that what Neem can do. You know, it's a perfect alternative to what they do down there. But I want to share one story with you about my son. You guys read all the books, you know, you heard about what these things can do to our children and unborn children. Neurological birth defects. My son is a perfect example. 2 days old, he was born with a brain bleed that nobody can even explain what happened. Okay. Till today, he's 6 years old, and he gets seizures, and nobody knows why. You know. And every day we gotta struggle with that. Every day we gotta struggle with the fact that you get PDD, NOS. What the hell is that? We don't even know what that is. But all we can do is stay real strong for him. Make sure that he can learn. You know? So, what I ask in our county council today is, when you make that decision, before you make that decision, you think about people like us. Like that I go through this kind of stuff, you know? Because we get on right for know. We all get on right to know. We got on right to know why this stuff going on. We need studies to be done. You know, I'm sure these guys have done them already. That's why they don't like say nothing. Okay? But you know what? I'm not scared, and I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to fight for this. Mahalo everybody for coming out. And mahalo for Gary Ruja.
If anybody and everybody would be willing to donate maybe $1 to help pull off this event, we just want to let you know this did cost quite a bit of money to pull off last minute, and a lot of this came out of people dedicated who are donating their funds to help be here today. So if anybody wants to collect donations, we are collecting donations at the back. There's also more information about how you can take part and how you can be involved and how you can testify. We've also got some Ohana shirts back here that we've got available. We've got a couple more Pass the Bill shirts out the back. We also have a rally here tomorrow in another form. We have a committee meeting that's going to be discussing Bill 2491. So we're encouraging anybody who is free tomorrow. I know it's a Monday and a lot of people can't come out, but we will be here talking about the bill, and you have the opportunity to public testify at that point as well. That's going to be first thing in the morning, so I believe the doors open at 7:30. Also, this is a call out to every single person here to register to vote. We have a register to vote set up here, so you can do it right here, right now, and you can add your voice to the voice of people that is pushing not only for the passing of this bill, but also for those that we choose to be elected in the future based on what they represent and what they represent for us and what they're going to give this island. So please register to vote. Please register to vote. Hello. We've got another West Side boy who is going to speak real quick, so I'd just like to pass it over to Bryce. Thank you very much.
My name is Bryce Boder, born and raised on the West Side. I live in Waimea Valley. I think you guys all know the reason why we need to pass this bill. It's common sense. I'll just share one story with you guys about what is going on the West Side. I moved to Waimea almost a decade ago, and when I first moved there used to be egrets all along the trees right next to Pioneer. And I live right across the river from that. And at our community meeting last week, one of these aunties brought up to me that what happened to all the egrets, and it just dawned on me, all the egrets are dead. And these are the egrets that live in the dump, and they're all through the trees, and they're all dead. So that's just something to think about. And I'll be talking about solutions, what we can do. The first thing you can do is, you guys got research what is going on, inform yourself, look at on the state and the county level, who is lobbying these politicians, and you gotta blow them up. You gotta blow them up and put them on the spot, what they're doing. And we cannot wait for the county to pass it to the state, because the state is bought out. The county gotta pass this bill, and we get the right to pass this bill. Another thing to think about, anybody can see this, you go west side, you go up to Kauai, you look down and look what you see. All you see is one barren desert. These guys is turning our island into a desert. It's all dry. And this is what petrochemical-based monoculture does. And it's a big problem all around the world, and it's especially a big problem here. We gotta shift to permaculture, organic permaculture, start growing our own food. We don't need pesticides. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Apologize. We've got one other person that wants to share a little bit of a couple minutes here.
Aloha, everybody. You know, I read a report yesterday that said corporations are pulling their stocks out of Monsanto. There was another report that said we have a choice in what we buy. If we don't buy GMO products, they're going to go broke. Now, I want to ask you something else. Those children at Waimea School, those teachers at Waimea School, did they have a choice on getting sprayed? There are so many things that are happening where we don't have a choice. The chemical companies are doing their thing whether we want them to or not. Now, I'm for Bill 2491. I'm also for an amendment that says all spraying should stop immediately upon passage of the bill. Gary did a great job on that bill. And I'm for it 100%, but it needs an amendment. The amendment should be that immediately upon passage, all spraying stops until the EIS is done, not after the EIS is done. Thank you very much.
Mahalo, mahalo. One more time, you guys. There's a tent back there to register every one of you guys to vote. Because voting together, we all on the same page. If we want something, we all vote together and we can get it, you know what I mean? As an island, so it's more important than we think for be registered to vote and have the chance for put your 2 cents in, you know what I mean? So just letting you guys know that it's right there for you if you want it. So we got one more speaker coming up. Dr. Don Huber. He's a soil pathologist, so he knows a lot about what's going on in Kauai right now.
I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here and visit your island. What a beautiful place. What a shame to have it spoiled. The bill that you're considering is more than a right to know. It's a health and safety issue. There's a lot at stake. You can talk about all the right to know that there is. But I want you to know that with many of these materials, the GMO proteins and products, many of the pesticides, and especially the glyphosate that is used so indiscriminately throughout our system, those have extreme chronic toxicity. They build up over time. The headlines in Yakima, Washington, Spokane, Seattle are why are we having so many birth defects in our children? Mothers talking about having an opportunity to hold their baby newborn for 24 hours before it dies from encephalopathy. We see the situation in Argentina where just the drift from the agricultural GMO soybean has increased the childhood cancer and birth defects 450%. We see fertility levels in the Western world dropping 30% in the last 5 years. The research from Irwina Ermakova shows that in 3 generations, the rats in her study were completely sterile. There was no population regeneration. We have veterinarians right now who are telling you that we can't have replacement animals for our herds, for our poultry even. We're seeing that reproductive failure from an entity that we see associated with our genetically engineered crops. We see the long-term chronic exposure. What your bill does is establish accountability. You don't want to wake up in 10 years and say, what happened like they're doing in Yakima?
Now's the time. Rise up.
You want to be able to track those materials that are used. Many of them are extreme endocrine hormone disruptors. So that the damage, the critical damage, is done in the first 3 months of gestation. You see the effect then, and not all of those effects, when the child is born or maybe even later on. You don't see it early on because as Dr. Samsel and Seneff have both from Massachusetts Institute of Technology and their paper associating the modern diseases with one of those pesticides, and that's glyphosate, they came to the conclusion that it's one of the most potent and chronically toxic chemicals we have ever had in our environment. You don't know unless you know what's being applied. We make mistakes in science. The problem that we get into is when we ignore those mistakes and fail to correct them. We've known of many of these toxic problems for many years. We now have long-term research programs carcinogenicity, the renal failure, the kidney failure, the liver failure, all the cytotoxic effects. I just returned from Guatemala. The headlines: a tenth of a percent of the farm workers in Nicaragua next door are dying from renal failure. That's kidney failure. Every year. They say we can't understand what's happening. If you look at the epidemiological data that's now available from Nancy Swanson's research and others, you'll see that curve that it's now almost straight up. We're always 10 to 20 years behind in our medical data. What that means, when we've gone from the slow slope to highly increasing rate of incidence, is that it's cast in stone for probably 15 to 20 years what that impact will be on our society. If we look at those epidemiological patterns, the epidemiological database, it means that for at least 35 of our modern diseases, everything from diabetes to autism to Alzheimer's to Crohn's and all of the other diseases, all of your gut diseases, all of those that are dependent on an effective and helpful beneficial microflora in our intestinal tract, all of those diseases are increasing at an extremely alarming rate, and the medical people are saying we can't understand why all of this is happening, so we need more hospitals, more doctors, more surgery, more kidney donors. Rather than looking at the cause, as Samsel and Senate did in their research, their publication recently, and say, let's know what's being applied, let's change it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, all of you. I'm wearing blue today. And you know why? Because it's not about color. It's not about what kind of cocoa you get. It's all about being informed and having a simple human right to know. So, aloha mai, my name is Malia, and there's nothing very extraordinary about me. I'm just a makuahine, just a mother like many of you. I raised my two daughters in an ahupua'a called Waiava, and Waiava is in Kekaha, in the moku of Kona. And pretty much every day that I walk outside of my house, the first thing I see is GM pest fields. we've experienced all kinds of different things being in the homestead. As far as health goes, asthma, symptoms of asthma, burning in our throat, taking a really long time to get over colds, things that, you know, we really didn't encounter before. But anyways, I'm here as a Hakuahine, and I really applaud and mahalo the people who put this march together. And, you know, I mahalo them because it gives me an opportunity as a Makuahine to show my keiki how much I love them. And when I talk about keiki, I'm not just talking about my 2 daughters that are in Hanau. I'm talking about all the keiki that I've had the privilege to malama. And what it teaches them, Mapua, when we do this, is that they know that there is nothing we wouldn't do to protect their health and well-being. We teach them, yeah, we're the example, yeah? And we teach them to not stand up for injustices on them. And so, you know, I also come to you as an educator. And I use that word lightly because I feel like I'm a haumana in so many senses, you know. But as an educator, I constantly instill the ethics of malama aina, taking care of your ancestral land, malama honua, taking care of this earth and everything, every living thing upon it. And I would be a hypocrite as an educator if I did not support this bill, if I continue to be makapo, be blind to what's happening. So as an educator and as a makua, I ask you to start to engage your children, yeah? Start to really plant seeds of consciousness in them. Because conscious kids make conscious leaders, yeah? Informed kids make informed leaders. So we really gotta start to plant those seeds in our keiki. Start asking them the important questions. Because Maupoko, they know the answers. And if we don't, then they're gonna continue. They're gonna inherit the broken bus that we call the state of Hawaii. If we don't start to malama leaders, okay? So I ask you that. As a Kanaka Hawaii, as a Hawaiian woman, it's my kuleana to be up here. And the thing is about kuleana, you cannot call that. You cannot choose that, yeah? Kuleana chooses you. So really, this is a kahea to all my Hawaii brothers and sisters, that's kokako kuleana. Yeah, this is our kuleana, to take care of our land, to take care of the natural resources. Why? Because they are manifestations of our kupuna. The other plea I have is to our mahi'ai. Yeah, in Hawaii, mahi'ai is farmer. And that is the most important kuleana. It's an incredible gift to take lepo, to take land, take a seed, you know, malama it, plant it, and watch it pupu, watch it grow. And to take that mea kanu, and have it nurture people. And that's the job of a mahi'ai, is to nurture the lahui, to feed the people. And if Akua blesses you with this gift, you're so vaivai, you're so lucky, you know, you're so rich. You will never go hungry. So for my brothers and sisters that are employed by biotech, if you call yourself a mahi'ai, yeah, plant food that will nurture and feed your people. No plant poison, no plant seeds of poison, plant food. And I promise you, my promise to you, is that if you plant food that will nurture our ohana, I will support you for the rest of my life. I will buy your food for the rest of my life. Okay, one last thing I want to say about 2491 is that 2491, it's not an anti-ag bill. No. It's not a North Shore movement. It's not anti-jobs. Yeah, it's not a sea of red kind of bill. 2491 is an anti-ignorance bill. Yeah? It's an anti-ignorance bill. And if you have a problem with 2491, well, maybe it's because you have something to hide. Maybe it's because you like keep us ignorant. So, with that said, mahalo ya'oko. I really thank all of you who made it here today. I'm so proud to call Kauai my Onehanau, the sands of my birth. And it's so reassuring to know that we are not an army of one, but we're an army of many, yeah? So mahalo kia kua.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name's Bob Strite. I come from Iowa, which is in the Midwestern U.S. And my wife was in the tent. We flew in here Wednesday night, and we've just been totally impressed with the beauty of the scenery, the topography, and the warmth of the people. We're really impressed. Now, in Iowa right now, and pretty much the whole Midwest, 90% of the corn crop is dying early for the 5th time in the last 5 years, due to diseases. And the thing is, this disease is it's bacterial related, but then it's also brought on by poor nutrition because we aren't putting the micronutrients on, which are tied up by glyphosate. Now the thing is, it has a direct relationship and is a causal factor of most human miscarriages. So we want to educate people on this. We need mothers to get educated. We need fathers to get educated. And then see red, and then organize. And wake up. Now, as far as GMOs, I think in the whole issue, the commodity groups forgot the #1 creed in business, and that is that the customers are always right. Don was just over at 2 worldwide symposiums on soybeans over in China. There were 70 toxicologists over there. To a person, they had all read the human health studies that are printed in magazines published outside the U.S. They don't show up in the U.S. press. But right now, what we know is the people in China, in India, and Europe, and Africa do not want these foods anymore because they realize that they're poisoning their own people. Now, I think it was 3 years ago, Don Huber, myself, and 3 other people went into Washington, D.C. We met with the Undersecretary of Agriculture, and what most people don't know is Don is the person that was appointed by the military and intelligence communities to be alert to any threat to the U.S. food supply. And he held that post for 40 years. He still attends Joint Chief of Staff meetings, but when he raised the alarm on what was found, they ignored him. And they said, you don't have enough peer-reviewed data. And we responded, we said, you don't understand. Don does not have any peers. And then we asked if it was okay if the communist Chinese did the peer reviewing. And they said, you wouldn't do that. And we said, we're getting a heck of a lot more help from the Chinese than we are the USDA or the universities. And they said, you wouldn't do that, would you? We said, that's the truth, right? Now, what we are is a group of agronomists and doctors, and what we've done is realize that good soil health has a lot to do with nutritious food. It has everything to do with it. And that's a direct relationship to good human health. So we've got to keep people healthy, and the only way to do it is take care of the soil. So long-term, hard pesticides are on their way out. And I spent this past week on the phone talking to companies and talking to lawyers of those companies that are coming up with soft pesticides. And I asked Ken, I make a call back to you when I get back from this trip, talk to you about it, and hurry things on a little bit. Some of these are coming from little places like Cornell University. And actually some major companies have made a pledge within a few years to have most of their chemicals be soft ones that are derived from plants and much safer things. And that's not a pipe dream. That could happen very quick because I know the people doing it. Also, the dust problems. When they harvest the GMO grain, we've done studies on it. I know a lot of you are saying you're having nosebleeds and other respiratory problems. I'm in that crowd. Used to be at harvest time, the air was crystal clear. You could breathe it. It smelled just like fall. It was great. Nowadays, there's a haze hangs in the air over the Midwest. I get nosebleeds, other people do. My friends go in there, they come out, they feel nauseous. They got blurred vision. I've had some people that lost friends, they got bad colds. They went to the hospital, they didn't come out. We've sampled it. There's Aspergillus nigrus and other things in dust. We'll get that information to you. Last thing is, my wife is a medical professional. She's here. She works for the Department of Energy, and she's in charge of the former worker program. And what went on back in the late 30s through the 40s and 50s when they were developing the atomic age, they were trying to help the workers out by making tools out of beryllium. Beryllium is as strong as steel. It's lighter than aluminum. So they were using it, and the workers would come in, they breathe in the dust, they sit on the barrels at noon hour. And what they found out eventually is beryllium was highly radioactive. Her job is to keep track of the people that have died so they can do something with their survivors and their families. So it took from the 40s and 50s till the early 2000s before they understand that. So we don't want that long a time period before people recognize the problems here. So with that, I thank you for hosting us.
My name is Hoku, my Wainiha Mael. I'm from Wainiha. And I have Auntie Louise here with us, and we just wanted to mahalo everybody again for coming out and supporting Pass the Bill for a Better World. And my message is just mostly to our politicians here, and then also to our voters as well, our ohana, our kama'aina. You know, Tutu, she always used to say, mai hila hila, yeah? The only time you shame is if when you lie, you cheat, or you steal, right? So no hila hila. Mo'opuna, go to your grandparents and let them know what this bill is about. Because personally, since I found out that my daughter's school sits right next to a chemical farm, I have been going door to door throughout our island and talking to the ohana, and a lot of them don't know. So please, mai hila hila, go talk to your ohana and let them know what's going on in their backyard. Okay? Because I know there are a lot of people here in Mahalo Nui, but there's still so much that need to know what's going on. And I cannot go to every single person's door. If I could, I would. So please, we need your help. Reach out to your ohana. Let them know that they need to support this bill. They need to support our legislators who support us. And if you do not, then ahui ho, mahalo. But we need people who support us. So out here protecting my child. That's who's concerned about this bill. That is who wants this bill to be passed. Make sure you know who has your back, and that is me, that is the Aina Hana, that is us. So you need to have our back. So voters, get out, register to vote. We may not get the bill this very time. We're going to keep it positive. We will get the bill. But if not, we're going to keep going until we get the bill. So this is just the start. Today is only the start. We have a long way to go. Politicians, don't forget that. This is the start. We will not give up. We will not give up until each and every one of you sitting in those seats believe in us. Believe in our bill. Believe in the Hawaiian way to make food. We make food. We do not spread poison. What a powerful message. Hello, everybody. If anybody don't know who I am, I'm Auntie Louise. I live in Ha'ena. And mahalo to every one of you that is here. Because, I moved to this island in 1981. And we've had a lot of fights. We did. People lost jobs because we stopped the boating industry in Hanalei River. They survived. Okay, people lost jobs because we did the TBR outside the visitor designated areas. They lost jobs. Hey, they survived, and we're still family. The biggest action that happened on Kauai that all of you may remember, that gave the voice back to the people, is the Hawaii Super Ferry action. I really thought I was going to be on that deck by myself, but when I pulled around the corner and saw each and every one of you stand up for your rights, it's your right. It is. And the power is with the people. Our politicians work for us. If this bill is not right, then write the right bill. If this bill is not right, then, and it's not your job in the county, then move it to the state. I want to tell you, in 2010, I started to wonder, okay, I'm going to come from a Hawaiian side because my culture taught me how to ma'a where I live and how to ma'a what I see. Now, 2010, they're talking right now about clusters and illnesses. In 2010, the cluster was liver failure because many of our people died because of liver failure. I know, I lost 3 in 1 year. A few years later, we had heart people. People were dying because of heart attacks, because of heart. A few years later, people were dying because of suicides. We had massive suicides. A few years later, people were dying because of cancer. My brother was one of them. And now, my son is part of this movement too. Because everybody that lives around these areas that have GMO growing, yes, we're concerned with you, but also with all of us that don't live in those areas, because we are affected also. My son lives in Honolulu. He was taking care of Auntie and her husband. They had renal failure. They live downwind from the GMO fields. Okay, so Auntie passes away, and now, in October of last year, my son, who is 42 years old, was diagnosed with kidney problems. In April 1st of this year, we were medevaced to Oahu with kidney renal failure. Without knowing about kidney renal failure, that is the saddest disease because you cannot eat. The medicines don't help you.
Once you get on dialysis, that's it. It's for the rest of your life. My son decided not to do dialysis. We almost lost him several times. We got him on a good herbal combination, and today he is above the dialysis line and he is fighting for his health. So, I know for a fact that all what these scientists and smart people are saying is true. We do have clusters on Kauai. We also have babies that are born with heart defects on Kauai. We have kids on the North Shore born with autism on Kauai. We never have these things, but we have clusters of them. We have clusters of respiratory diseases. Okay, I know this is about the bill 2491, but now I have your attention. I'm going to spread your mind to a broader state. Okay, we're going to stop the spraying on the land and the farms. My God, you look. Now, I want you to look up. Today we have a God sky. Normally over Kauai we have a man-made sky. Have you seen chemtrails? Okay, I'm going to tell you the story. The story is Kauai is a round island. So when the land warms, it does it every day. I know because I was to my area. So the land warms every day. Anything in the atmosphere rises. You know, heat rises. Okay, so you look up on top of those mountains. You see those clouds over there? Those clouds are the cause of land warming. Now you tell me all that GMO stuff is not milling around over there in that clouds and not just coming down in your area? Well, guess what? They also do chemtrails. Okay, I'm going to pretend my umbrella is the chemtrails. Okay, pretend it's silver, like aluminum foil, because that's what they're spreading over our islands. They are microwaving us. Can you feel how hot this heat is right now? It's not normal, okay? So with the land warming, clouds rising, all that poisons milling up there, okay? The chemtrails is to protect us from other countries invading us with warfare, okay? So it's supposed to protect us, but in actuality, it's microwaving us. It's heating the land so bad that you think global warming is not being sped up? Okay, now at night we have the cooling of the land. You know that feeling around 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, oh, that nice cool air coming through your window? Well, our islands are round, so now all that clouds and all that cool air, everything, poisons, everything, milly up there. Now when you're deep breathing while you're sleeping, boom, comes down the mountain, all around the island, each and every one of our homes, and we breathe deep, and we're in our slumber, and we're getting poisoned. I know because I live in Haena, and I'm being poisoned by GMO and chemtrails. And a lot of us out there are dying. You know, I've been sick for a week, and so we need to open the broader stand. Yes, they are speaking the truth, and stand up and wake up and rise up. You know, I wish I could have phrased that or copyright the word sheeple, because when I came out with sheeple, everybody said, Auntie, what you talking about? I said, I'm talking about all the sheep people. The sheep people that herds around and follows and does whatever. You are not sheep people. Kauai has woken up, rose up to the occasion. Mahalo to the young people to do this, because you know, the fight is hard in the front. And I've been there, but now mahalo to all these keiki that have stood up for the fight and taking the front line. And to all of you for standing behind them. Aloha!